Dámy a pánové, já vás vítám u videa z herní série Path of Exile. Naše cesta do vyhnanství právě začíná. Enjoy! Tak, želání, mám 2 klíčky. Tady to je. To bylo rychlý.
A man committed heart and soul to upholding the law. Of course, law isn't the same thing as justice, and men like Casticus lack the imagination necessary to make that distinction. Avarice, innocence. I'm not sure there's a great deal of difference. Around the time I heard the beast's mortal scream, the newly appointed High Templar Avarius went through something of a revelation. The manner in which he speaks and acts now would indicate that he believes, without doubt, that he is some earthly embodiment of God. That's faith for you. It'll reduce grown men to the madness of infancy.
Honzo, děkuju za odběr YouTube channelu, děkuju.
The sign of purity, yes. A discry staff that piety sent me to study at one point. Apparently it was a gift from innocence to the first High Templar, Maxarius. Dominus couldn't even bear to touch the thing, so he had it locked up in the ossuary. Quite reactive behavior for a man of such formidable intellect, yet now it's making a little more sense. The staff was certainly able to conduct and store energy, yet remained inert when I applied corruption to it. It must only respond to divine energy, and with corruption and divinity being diametrically opposed, it's no wonder that my experiments failed to excite the thing. Meaning, if the sign of purity is a repository for the power of innocence, Dominus could never have wielded it, being steeped as he was in the opposing power of the beast. You, though, you're a different matter entirely.
Já jsem vždycky rozdílný.
We're glad you made it. No, damn it all, that's just too strange to abide. I'm glad you made it. And innocence tells me I need to keep helping you. So that's what I'm going to do. I know my way around weapons and armor, and all things Templar if you should want for further enlightenment on that subject. As for innocence, I don't know. Sometimes he makes sense, other times he's a shattered god, but he'll heal. I'll make sure of that. Lani's told me a little about Utula and his cult of Kitava. Enough to know what Utula's got planned. Bring about the fall of one god so he can raise up one of his own. And this Kitava, from what fragments I can piece together from innocence, he's not the benevolent kind. Please, find Utula and stop him. I'm not saying this because I want to put innocence back on his divine throne. I'm saying this because Oriath is my home. It's made some mistakes, but it doesn't deserve the fate that Utula has in mind.
No.
Innocence forgives you.
Utula dostane do nosu, takže miliony životy. Tak a další výhám je tady někde. Life Regen, Light Energy Shield, Instinct. No. Tam je dalšího tohle. 50% critical strike chance. Yep. Minioni dostanou další boost.
Interesting. I'm having a little trouble explaining it myself. I've never been the most devout of men, especially for a Templar, more of a soldier than a believer. But now, innocence himself rests within me. His voice is weak, barely a whisper, yet still he has the power to keep us safe from Kitava's hunger. At least for now. For my part, I'm simply grateful. Grateful that I have a god watching my back. I'm grateful that he's given me the power to watch others in return. For a long time now, I thought my god's intentions were being twisted by his supposed servants. Did I speak up? No. The pyre would have been my only answer. I did what I was told and drew the lines of morality where I could. Now understand the truth. It wasn't Innocence's intention being twisted. It was Innocence himself, perverted by the selfish convictions of the men and women who worshipped him. A god answers to the believer, as the believer answers to their god. A sign of purity. Let's see. A staff, bathed in innocent blood. No. Sorry, bathed in the blood of Innocence. Yes, Innocence gave a part of his divine self to the thing, and gifted it to the Templar. Now that I recall, I read a tome about it when I was a cadet. Bloody long time ago. I skipped most of the boring pages, so only remember the bit where High Templar Maxarius smote with flame the army of the faithless with one ray of its hallowing light. The book's words, not mine. Outside of my humble flesh, the sign of purity is about all that's left of Innocence. Devotion should be honored, I suppose. For centuries now, the Templar have boiled the flesh and skin from the devout, and presented the polished remains for public appreciation in the ossuary. Personally, I think it's one of the better ways to remember those who have gone before us. To touch the bones is to remember neither the legend, the legacy, nor the lies. It reminds you that those bones belong to a man or woman who was just like any other man or woman. I'd be lying if I said my hands were clean of Slavery's blood. I was a soldier. I went where Dominus ordered me to go. I sailed with the expedition to Namakanui, killed Karui warriors, and rounded up Karui captives like every other bastard in a Templar uniform. So I don't blame Lonnie for wanting to take back her freedom, and I don't blame her for believing Utula's lies either. I certainly swallowed enough of Dominus's falsities to sicken my soul. It's what we do now that matters. I can see that Lonnie's heart is in the right place, and for once in my damned life, so is mine. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't trust her. Yeah, I've got my reasons. Piety kept her work pretty quiet, but her results were brutally clear. The people she took, the people she changed. Slaves mostly, and a few enemies of God. Enemies of bloody Dominus, more like it. I don't go in for black and white definitions of good and evil, but with piety in her ilk, I make an exception. Whatever's lurking inside Violenta, it ain't good. Not by a long shot.
Takže jí nevěřit, no, okej. Jsem byl tady. Se rychle ta mapa zrušila. Tak, co to bude pěkného? Treasure pile. A když je to poklad, tak to asi bych měl brát, ale je bedná až nakonec. Tak. Devítky. Jenom dva, to nic víc. Aha, tak jo. Výborně. Jo, chápu, tady je tohle. Ok. Tak to bylo kratší, než jsem čekal.
Takže tady máme tohle. Vojna to je. Tak. Tak dáme si Bannon.
Unexpected. At least, he's not the sort of Templar that I'm used to dealing with. His ideas about innocence almost make sense to me. The way he worships innocence and receives such power in return, it's like his devotion actually brings out the best in his god. But how is that possible? A god is a god. They bless us and they punish us, not the other way around. Yet for Bannon, somehow it's different. For freedom.
Být zbytek zase při dalším stání. Zkusíme sem. The King Feast, to je tady. Aha. Entrance of Sewer, jasné, ale to je tady někde. Aha, dobře. Maximálně najdu ten druhý vstup. Teď otázka, jestli bude dole nebo nahoře, jo. Level up. Takže sem. Tím jsem šel dolů, tak teď to zkusím nahoru. Ruin Square. Tak, kdo tady bude dělat sováčů? Ten bude horší získat. To je špatně. Tak to není úplně to, kam jsem chtěl. Kdyby to měl být jeden vstup někde. Aha. Takže to stejně bude dole. Ale když to nebylo tam, tak by to mohlo být tu. Ne. Tady je Utula a svačinka.
How do we deserve freedom, Utula? But you took it too far.
Takže Utula Andy. A místo hideout. No a ještě by tady měl být jeden vstup. Někde teda dole, jo. Jo, tu je. Relikviář. Banon. Aha, to taky není ono. Dobře, tak by tam měl být ještě jeden vstup. Nebo ten se otevře teprve až po splnění dalšího questu, možný. No co? Hybrid flask. Vanda. Jo, tak to se asi otevře až
Can I not have but a moment's
po
respite?
dokončení questu. Předtím jsem to prošel dolů a nebylo tam nic.
The High Priest is dead, yet the object of his devotion remains. There's no doubt you did all right bringing that man-turned-monster to heel, but you weren't able to stop him fishing his master out of a river of blood. Damn. Sorry. I never could get the hang of boosting morale. Didn't seem right to polish the edges off harsh facts. Probably why I never made captain. Still, I've been poking around here for a bit and have turned up Utula's stash. Quite the magpie he was. So here, help yourself. When it comes to hunting a god, I suppose every little bit helps.
Tak, co se mi hodí? Uvidíme.
Good luck out there.
To bylo rychlé.
Yes, what is it? Bannon claims that a god now lives inside his head and talks to him. What's more common, divine possession or insanity? I'll leave you to calculate the odds. People have talked about the return of the gods since the birth of Oriath. It's a gambit employed by charlatans to fleece the weak-minded and morally desperate. Or so it seemed. Avarius and his Templar drones now greet the dawn filled with power and glorious purpose. Kitava has risen from whatever ethereal cesspit he's been hiding in for the last few millennia. So what let the cats out of their proverbial bags? I'm a scholar, not a prophet. Yet there's one occurrence that absolutely reeks with evidential causality. You killed the beast. Dominus adopted Chittis Cathedral as his personal laboratory. He decked it out with everything his miraculous mind could conceive of. His great work in Psalm, that which you destroyed, it all began there. You really don't have a strong grip on cause and effect, do you? Things replace other things. It's the most fundamental of laws. The larger the thing you remove, the bigger the rush to fill the space it's left behind. Innocence was the nexus of power in Oriath. Remove him and something of equal or greater power was always going to take his spot. Any idiot could have predicted that Kitava was going to be that something. Unless, of course, you thought it was going to be you.
Tak, tohle bylo spíš víc kecání.
Yes?
Tuhle.
You've sent the traitor to meet his ancestors, have you? That'll be an interesting conversation. I'm no Hatungo, but I can foresee Utula walking a long road of trial and suffering before he earns himself a place at the ancestors' table. And just as Utula's journey continues, so does yours, right into the jaws of Kitava. I don't profess to understand the mind of a god, but I know the stories. Kitava is patient. He waited in the darkest pit of Hinekora's realm, He will bide his time while his hunger spreads like the plague it is, and when his tribe is replenished 100 times over, Kitava will rise one final time to finish the feast that he has started. Oriath is merely the appetizer. There's a whole world out there for Kitava to taste. You've proved that you're a hero who can slay legends. Let's see if you can kill a god. Remember, we do this for freedom.
Dámy a pánové, tady videjko aktuálně zapíchnu, doufám, že jste si ho užili, počilovali a na viděnou u dalšího videa.